Hey everyone, I'm Phil Corey, and in this video, we're going to talk about the entrepreneur's mindset. So there are a ton of things that make an entrepreneur what they are, but there are a couple that, as you're making a transition maybe from being a non-entrepreneur or an employee or whatever it is that you do, uh, into that lifestyle, there are some things that need to change and there are some things you need to understand. So I want to call out a couple of those because I see them quite frequently from a lot of people that, if I go out to a grocery store or whatever, or I'm out at a restaurant or wherever you are, and you're interacting with people who are employees, they all kind of tend to have a very similar mindset. But there are a couple of things that you should probably know. First and foremost, your customers are not your enemy. When you become an entrepreneur, when you own a business, customers are your friends. They are, they're basically everything that your business relies on. You can't have a business, you can't run a company without customers. So this mindset of, I come home and I hate all the people that I had to deal with today, and, everybody was a pain in my, you get it. That stuff has to end. You can't think like that as an entrepreneur. It has to be, you are doing everything you can to help the people that need your help. So that's big. That's one of the first very, very important things. And I read about it a lot. I see it a lot. I see it on Facebook a lot. The horrible customers and 10 things everybody hates about these types of people, and that stuff's got to end. Secondly, the 40-hour work week is gone forever. I think I've hit this a million times in my videos, but you need to be aware of it. There is no checking out at the end of the day. The day never ends. So if this is not for you, then entrepreneurship is not your thing. Third is the investment timeline. A lot of people think they're going to get started in their business, and then 2 to 3 years from now, they are going to be rich. Most people actually don't think that. They think 2 to 3 months from now they're going to be rich, which is a little bit crazy if you think about it. It's you're better off trying to win the lottery. There is a timeline in building a business. 2 to 3 years isn't a bad one, but you're not going to be probably super, super successful. Any investment is probably going to take 10, 15 years, whether it be time, money, education, anything that you need to do to kind of reach your pinnacle, it's going to take some time. So don't be discouraged by this 2 to 3 years goes by and you're like, wow, I wish I was somewhere else. I wish I was doing better, or maybe I'm not quite there. That it's a mindset that you need to completely eradicate, and we deal with that in investing too. It's this 2 to 3 year timeline for investments is like from one investment to the next one, and that's kind of what happens in entrepreneurship. It's you're building the core function or the core foundation of your business in the first 2 to 3 years, and then you have to shift to scale, and then you have to shift to operation at scale, and there's all kinds of different things you need to go along with as time goes on. The third thing is that as the business scales, you can't do it all. Something that may get you into this idea of entrepreneurship is that you are able to do something better than someone else. And that's true. I feel that way all the time. But in reality, your limits are your hours in the day. So you need to be able to trust other individuals to help you along the way. So you need to understand this concept of you can't do it all, and you need to be able to trust people. It's two things that really people struggle with. Trust being one of the big ones. Everybody's like, oh, well, I can't trust so-and-so because they let me down once or whatever. Like, that's not how life works. You need to be able to trust people, and you need to be able to do it very fast if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur. The final thing, the biggest one, is this concept of opportunity versus happiness. People think opportunity is potentially equal to their happiness because they can make some money doing something, they're going to be happy. And those two things do not go together. They are almost opposed. Generally speaking, if you start with opportunity and that's all you're thinking about is the opportunity, unless you are a 100% hardcore entrepreneur, the only thing you want to do in life is own businesses and you don't even care what they do, you are likely not going to be happy just developing some opportunity. What you need to do, what you need to re-engineer or reverse engineer, I should say, is the idea of what makes me happy, and then how can I draw that back into an opportunity. That's the best way to go about starting a business or becoming an entrepreneur, because if you go the opposite direction, you're going to wake up maybe 3 or 4 months from now and realize that you hate your life, because that's generally what ends up happening. If you start with, oh, there's a really good opportunity, I could be a better trash man, okay, which cool, whatever, I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick up trash and I'm going to be better at it and I'm going to make more money at it. But 3 months later, you realize, hey, I'm picking up trash for a living and I maybe don't like that. So that's a really interesting way to present it, I think, but it's the best way to understand this idea of like, we're doing something that we're really not enjoying, but we can make money at it, so let's just do it. That's not a great way to run a business. That's not a great way to be in business. And like I said, unless you are a serial entrepreneur, which is a whole nother video, this idea of just doing whatever makes you money is, as a business, is not a good idea. It's something you should completely stay away from. So those are some of my key concepts for the entrepreneurial mindset. I think that this is something that needs to be cultivated. If you're going to become an entrepreneur, you need to read some books. You need to kind of educate yourself on what's necessary. But these things are very, very important. Your customers are not your enemy. There is no such thing as a 40-hour work week. Your investment timeline is ridiculously long. You can't do it all, and you need to trust people. And most importantly, opportunity is not equal to happiness. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this and see what you guys have to say. If you have started a business and you realize that you're not happy, how long have you been doing it? What is it about it that's not working for you? Or if you are really happy and successful, I want to hear about it. Leave a comment, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it.